But if he's guilty, he's going to pay the price. No doubt. There's consequences to vile behavior like that. So I'm not defending the behavior. But until there's evidence to prove that Andrew committed these crimes and his co-defendants, he's innocent as far as I'm concerned. I'll maintain that position till I die about everybody. Hey everyone, welcome to another Sit Down with Michael Francis. Hope everybody is doing well. All is very good, very blessed on this end. And as always, you know, I give God all the praise, honor, and glory for that. I recently did a video on the Andrew Tate matter, his most recent arrest. And I got a lot of comments, mostly in support of what I had to say. There were some that took issue with what I had to say, believing that I was defending Andrew Tate. And in some ways I was. What I was defending really his right to be assumed to be innocent until proven guilty. And some people took offense to that. And I understand the people that took offense to that were those people that don't like Andrew. Now, we know that he's a controversial guy. He's got a lot of people that he's rubbed wrong. They disagree with a lot of things that he said. And let me get this out here really clear. I am not misogynistic in any way, shape, or form. I have 5 daughters that are extremely independent. I have a wife that is very independent. They do what they do. As a matter of fact, they're more than independent. And I even tell their boyfriends when I sit down with them, I said, hey, listen, you got good girls here. No doubt. They take after their mom. They're good girls, but they're very tough and very independent. If you can't handle it, you better take off now. I tell them straight out. So I am not in any way misogynistic, nor do I defend being misogynistic in any way. I've had conversations and texts with Andrew back and forth, and I understand what he's trying to say. I think, especially when it comes to telling young men to be men. Now, he does in some ways have an abrasive way of saying it. He does kind of throw his chest out. I don't get offended by it because I understand what he's saying. A lot of men don't get offended by it because they understand what he's saying. And there are a lot of women that are not offended by it either. And for you ladies tuning in, I would really encourage you to tune into Jedediah's YouTube. She's a very strong woman, very smart, and she has a good take on what's going on with Andrew Tate. And I really think you should listen to her. She has a lot to say. I agree with most everything that she says in this regard, but it's good to get a woman's take on this, a strong, independent woman. And I think you should listen to her. Again, Jedediah, tune into her YouTube channel. But I want to clarify some things. I am very, very strong in the legal principle that we are innocent until proven guilty. Why? Well, based upon my own personal experience. Look, I've said this many times. My father was a made member of organized crime. He was an underboss in the Colombo family. He obviously committed criminal activity throughout his life. He went to trial a few times, and he eventually went to trial for masterminding a nationwide string of bank robberies. He was convicted and sentenced to 50 years in prison. Out of that 50, he did 40 years in prison. And I will tell you, as I sit here right now, I will take it to my grave. My dad was no bank robber. He was framed on that case. Witnesses lied against him. The FBI went along with it. We could never prove it, but I have actual evidence and proof because the wife of the principal witness against my father, the bank robber, she confessed, and she actually took a lie detector test and said that her husband and the other 3 witnesses framed my father. Newsday, big publication on Long Island, gave her a lie detector test. She passed with flying colors. Okay, FBI agents, news reporters have said it was a bad case that my father was framed. So does these things happen? Yes. So the legal system is not always fair. And I'm going to point that out as we get along in this video. But let me get back to Andrew Tate. Look, he can be abrasive at times. I think the mistake that Andrew made, okay, you cannot thumb your nose in the face of powerful people who disagree with you ideologically. You just can't do it. John Gotti did it, made a terrible mistake. It cost him his life. Joe Colombo did it. Terrible mistake. It cost him his life. When you buck the system in that regard, okay, it's a problem. People are going to come after you. Andrew knew that people were coming after you. He said it about a month ago in an interview with Zuby. He said, they're coming after me. And let me dispel something. This whole talk about Greta Thunberg and the pizza box that gave Andrew up, come on, that's ridiculous. The authorities knew where he was. It wasn't a pizza box that did it. He was on Zuby a month ago. You think they couldn't follow him? You think they don't know where he is? They can't track his location? In this day and age, it wasn't a pizza box. And I think somebody from their organized crime division dispelled that myth also. They knew where he was. For me, it's a coincidence that he butted heads with the darling of the left, Greta Thunberg, the climate activist, okay, and a day or two later, he's behind bars. I don't like that. I'll be honest with you. It's a strange coincidence. Now, let me make this clear, too. I don't have any more information about this case than any of you do. You're making up your minds based upon how you feel about Andrew. Well, I'm making up my mind based upon what I think to be the right thing. And the right thing is Andrew Tate and his brother are innocent until proven guilty. That's the way it is. That's the rule of law. And some people say, well, the law might be different in Romania. Well, morally, that's how we should look things. We don't rush to judgment until we have all the evidence. Now, let me make this clear. Human trafficking, despicable. I think it's horrible. It's disgusting. I wouldn't engage in it. I don't think Andrew engaged in it. That's just my personal opinion. I said it yesterday. I don't have any of the facts. I hope to God it's not true. It doesn't make sense to me. He's a wealthy guy. He's a good-looking guy. He doesn't need to do anything like this. And God forbid if he did it, it's a terrible mistake. But I find it hard to believe. Now, could I be wrong? Hey, anything's possible in this world. I don't know. But I just don't see it. Okay, but aside from that, let's get to some of the things that are coming out right now. They've detained him. Normally, I think in the law in Romania, when you're detained for 24 hours. And if they don't charge you, they have to let you go. The prosecution petitioned the judge to have him held for 30 days. And the judge granted that. So he and his brother are held for 30 days. Along with that, there were two other suspects arrested, two women. One of them was the girlfriend of Andrew. And they worked, supposedly it was these four in this alleged ring that's accused of doing whatever it is that they were supposed to have done. Now, they detained the women also for 30 days. That's a little suspicious for me because from what I'm told, Romanian jails, they're hellholes. They're rat infested, they're cockroach infested. Why do they do that? Well, they want to hold you without bail. They want to get you to crack. They want informants. They want somebody to tell on somebody else. Is that happening here? I don't know. Is it a possibility? Of course it is, because that's how law enforcement works. They put pressure on you. They try to make deals. They try to turn you into an informant. Is that happening here? I don't know. But in my mind, my suspicious mind, it could be happening. Maybe that's why they detained him. I hear these are bad jails, worse than anything in the United States. That's what I'm told. People don't like to be in jail. It changes things. So I don't know. But that's a basis for me to have suspicions. Now, let me get into this. Innocent until proven guilty. Some people got offended when I said that Andrew Tate is right now, in my mind, innocent. I don't rush to judgment. They also got offended when I said, why are you rushing to judgment on Andrew, and yet you're not rushing to judgment on the Epstein case? We know that there was human trafficking in the Epstein case. It's factual, but nobody's been arrested about it except for his girlfriend. We know that there were very powerful and well-known figures involved, Bill Clinton being one of them. What do you think Bill Clinton was doing when he went down to that island, several times? You think he was playing chess? What do you think he was doing down there? There were young women down there. We know this for a fact. But none of the details are coming out. And I don't see anybody in the left screaming about it either. But gosh, you got to see the press on Andrew Tate. They got him hung already. This is what he deserved. This is what you're hearing it left and right. The Guardian and every other publication on the left, they're screaming about this. But nobody's saying anything about the Epstein deal. Why not? Well, we know why. It's obvious, isn't it? Secondly, people got offended that I compared what was going on with Andrew Tate to what's going on our southern border. Well, why? Human trafficking is definitely occurring over our southern border. Border Patrol agents have told me about it. In 3 states, it's happening. occurring over our southern border. Why aren't people screaming about that? Why isn't the press writing about that? These are legitimate questions. And people, this is not politics. Somebody had said to me in a message, Michael, stay in your lane. Don't go into politics. Human trafficking is not politics, people. That's a human issue. That's an issue that all of us are concerned. I have 5 daughters. I live out in Orange County. Okay, there's incidents of women here being kidnapped in Orange County. It's an affluent area. I have a young daughter. I'm concerned when she walks out. I tell her, be careful in the parking lot. Make sure you know your surroundings. When you come out of a department store, look where you're going. Don't park your car, too far away from where everybody else is. I have to tell my wife, my daughters this. Where are they coming from? They're coming over the southern border because we don't have practically a border anymore. I'm not saying this. The Border Patrol agents are saying this. But what are we doing about it? Nothing. And people get offended that I compared what's going on with the southern border and why people are not asking questions about the human trafficking there to what's going on with Andrew Tate. Now, I have said very strongly, and I maintain that position 1,000%, that Andrew Tate at this moment is innocent until he is proven guilty. Now, why do I stand by that rule of law? Why do I stand by that moral rule? Let me tell you why. I want to read a couple of things for you so that you understand this. This is not just coming off the top of my head, and this is not even, supporting Andrew. I'm just telling you the way it should be. You may not know this, but listen to some of these facts. As of August 8th, 2022, the National Registry of Exonerations listed 3,200 defendants who were convicted of crimes in the United States and later exonerated because they were innocent. 53% of them were black, nearly 4 times their proportion of the population, which is now about 13.6%. What am I saying here? 3,200 wrongly convicted people were exonerated later on. The fact that 53% of them are black is terrible. But these are the stats. I didn't make it up. So why are you innocent until proven guilty? That's one of the reasons. Because people get convicted quite often when they're innocent. Let me read a little bit more. 375 people in the United States have been exonerated by DNA testing, including 21 who served time on death row. These people served an average of 14 years in prison before exoneration and release. People make mistakes all the time. Witnesses sometimes say things that are not true. They lie. Do you know how many times? I've been to trial 5 times. I've witnessed so many others. You know how many times I saw a witness against the defendant get on the stand, put their left hand on a Bible, raise their right hand, swear to tell the truth, and lie through their teeth? Lawyers caught them in so many lies. People lie all the time. Whoever these alleged witnesses are against Andrew Tate, are they telling the truth? I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe they're not. But until there's evidence to prove that Andrew committed these crimes and his co-defendants, he's innocent as far as I'm concerned. I'll maintain that position till I die about everybody. Let me go a little bit further. At least 190 people who were sentenced to death in the United States have been exonerated and released since 1973. Listen to this. With official misconduct and perjury, false accusation, the leading causes of their wrongful convictions. Well, from what we seem to hear right now, there are some women that are stating that they were kept against their will and they were told to do things under the threats of whatever. And right now, all we have is the inference that there are women saying this. We don't have any other evidence. And again, you don't know any more than I know. This is what we're reading in the newspaper. This is what we're hearing. We don't have anything firm at this point in time. They're telling you straight out, people lie. They do it all the time. So let's get the facts. Let's get the evidence. Let's get the solid proof that they're either innocent or guilty. At this point, Andrew Tate's innocent. Another stat, 65 of the first 255 DNA exoneration cases involved appeals in our civil lawsuits alleging prosecutorial misconduct. In nearly half of those 65 cases, courts found prosecutorial misconduct or error. Misconduct means they lied, they withheld information, exculpatory information. That's what that means. So these things, they happen. And that's why we have to have the assumption that we're innocent until proven guilty. The burden of proof is on the prosecution, is on the accusers. So please don't get offended when I'm saying at this point in time, Andrew Tate deserves to be presumed to be innocent until and unless there's evidence that proves otherwise. And again, I'm going to say it again, let me make it very clear. Human trafficking is disgusting. I hate it. I hate the thought of it. Nobody should be involved in it or engage in it. I don't think that Andrew, just from what I know, I just don't understand it. I can't see it. But if he's guilty, he's going to pay the price. No doubt. There's consequences to vile behavior like that. So I'm not defending the behavior. But at this point in time, I am saying that Andrew Tate is innocent until proven guilty, and I stand by it. And look, let's be honest. Let's be perfectly honest. The left hates him, okay? Especially now coming out against Greta Thunberg. You got to understand something, people. I'm not going to give you my position on climate change. But climate change is the darling of the left. Here in California, our governor wants us all to be driving electric cars by 2035. I don't understand how that's going to happen. Where's this power grid going to come from? How are we going to support millions of electric cars here in California by 2035? We don't have the infrastructure to do that. But that's what he wants. They want to turn everything green. So if you speak out against it, like Andrew Tate did, you're in trouble. Remember this, people. I'm saying this. You cannot thumb your nose in the face of powerful people. You just can't do it. They will come after you. They will come and get you. Andrew knew this. He stated it publicly. He said they're going to come after me. That's why I dismissed this whole pizza box nonsense. They knew where he was. Again, the timing. You know, he gets into this beef with the darling of the left. You know, the climate change activist, the darling of the left. Within 2 or 3 days, he's under arrest. I don't know. Just, you know, it's not a conspiracy theory. It just, is it a coincidence? I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Another thing that's very suspicious for me, they haven't charged him with any crime yet. There's suspicion out there, but they haven't charged him. So why are they detaining him for 30 days? Why are they detaining the 2 women for 30 days? For me, you know, obviously they're trying to gain more evidence. If they had so much evidence, they would have arrested him, indicted him, and charged him right away. I mean, they haven't yet. So obviously the authorities are still looking for something more. Maybe what they have right now, they have probable cause, but they don't have enough evidence to indict him yet. If that's the term they use in Romania, I don't know. But formally charge him yet. As of now, he hasn't been charged. So these things are suspicious to me, and that's why I say he is innocent until proven guilty. Anyway, that's it. Look, I'm going to keep you up to date, and I'm going to give you my, take on this whole thing. And, some people are going to like it, others are not going to like it, but that's just how I feel, people. I really mean that. And I hope to God these allegations are not true. I hope to God that they didn't detain him because they don't have enough evidence at this point in time, and they're going to try to put pressure on the 2 women that they've detained now and held in custody for 30 days. I don't know. But these are things you have to consider. Look, all of our rights are at stake when it comes to something like this. If they can do something to an Andrew Tate that's not right, I'm not saying they have. I'm just saying if they can do something, well, then everybody's in jeopardy. You cannot give law enforcement the ability to violate the law to go after criminals. They can't do that. They have enough weapons. They have the legal system behind their back. They've got enough tools. Go get somebody the right way. Because when you let them violate the law to catch the criminals, all of us are in jeopardy. I feel strongly about that. Nothing will ever change my mind because of my experiences, my life. So I'm going to keep you updated on this, and we'll see how it all turns out. That's all I can say. So how do I always leave you? Same way, people. Not going to change. Be safe. Be healthy. God bless every one of you. And yes, I'll see you next time.